everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a really good day. You joined me for a challenge video today, which is actually going to last the duration of the month, but by the time you're seeing this, I have completed it. I want to take on the 30-day minimalism challenge. I believe the challenge originated with the minimalists, and if you don't know what the challenge is, then it's basically on day one, you have to declutter one item from your life, from your collection of possessions, and then day two you have to declutter 2 things, day three 3 things, all the way up to day 30 where you have to try and find 30 things to declutter, meaning at the end I think you end up decluttering 465 items if you pull it off. I am really excited to give this a go because despite the fact that I have done a lot of decluttering already, if I think back, I've decluttered my kitchen, my office, my linen closet, I've done shoes, accessories, plus I decluttered over 150 items from my wardrobe. I've done the closet in our master bedroom. I've done a lot of decluttering, and not all of it you have seen on my channel. Some of it is just going on behind the scenes and I'm doing bits and pieces all the time. So I have already decluttered a lot of stuff that you may be thinking, you know, what's left to declutter? I myself am kind of thinking the same. Like when I try to think in my head like the odd things lying around my house, I struggle. Like I think the first few days I'll be absolutely fine, and then after that it may become a bit more of a challenge to find things, particularly those last sort of 10 days where you've got to find 20 to 30 items to declutter. But I do feel like I have got some stuff around my house that I know can go, and so I am willing to give this challenge a go, and I hope I get to the end and survive. It would be really good to get rid of another bulk of stuff that is really cluttering up my space. So I'll give it my best and we'll see what happens. I've actually been putting off doing this challenge despite the fact that I really want to do it and I'm really excited to do it. I have been putting it off because with lockdown I have already got so much stuff. I have got boxes and piles and stuff in various rooms in my house, as well as loads of stuff in my garage that in my mind I have technically decluttered, but it's still in my space because I've either not been able to get to a second-hand store to donate it because many of them haven't been open in the UK. I want to dispose of those things responsibly, so like doing things like just dropping them off at the tip really isn't something I want to do, or just throwing them into the trash isn't something I want to do, so I've really held on to them so I can dispose of them responsibly. And there are some items that I want to sell, some of which are online on various websites, and a load of stuff I have already sold, but you know, that sort of thing takes time, it doesn't just happen overnight. I would also really like to give a go at doing a car boot sale because I've got sort of some little bits and pieces that I wouldn't want to sort of sell online. Shipping would be a bit of a pain, but I think I would like to actually try and make a little bit of money, so a car boot seems like a really good idea. But again, with lockdown, some car boots around us are open, but I'm a little bit wary of sort of the risks still involved in doing that, so I'm just gonna have to be patient. So I have still got a load of stuff in my house that in my mind is decluttered but is still in my house. So I wanted to put off doing this challenge because I don't want to keep adding to all that stuff that needs to go. I kind of wanted in my mind to get rid of everything that's already decluttered but still in my space, and then sort of start from scratch and have a fresh clean slate to then start another load of decluttering. But I decided I might as well just keep going, keep tackling it. The piles of decluttered stuff around my space are starting to drive me a little bit bonkers, but I'm just gonna have to make my peace with it. I really want to do the challenge, so I'm going to give it a go. Now I figured the best way to start this challenge would just be to go to one section in my house and go through the cupboards, and when I see something, just take it out. I know some people do this video where one day they declutter exclusively books or exclusively kitchen items, and in a way that might work out like that if I come across all my books at the same time, which I would because they're mostly in one place, kind of in 2 places actually. I would come across them all at once, so I probably would end up decluttering books together, but it might be some books and some other stuff. It might just be a bit of a mashup of things, but the way I want to do it is start in one room of my house and sort of work my way around, and then upstairs and work my way around the rooms there. So I've gone through every single cupboard and places where I might keep stuff and decluttered that way. So I'm going to take you with me through to our utility room because that is essentially as far around in our house as you can get, because we don't have a very big space. It's kind of utility, kitchen, living room, stairs to upstairs, like that's it. So I'm going to take you with me and I'll kind of show you what I mean. So this is our little utility room. It's small, like I can touch, there's the wall, okay, I can touch this wall. I can touch either side, it's not a very big space, and this is as far around as our house goes. So on the other side of this wall is the garage, which runs like alongside, it's integral into the house. Then in here is just our downstairs loo, really tiny. Like if I go into here and look for things to declutter, there isn't anything. I've got a picture on the wall, a canvas, it's beach themed, and that is the only decorative item in here, and I would be happy to keep that. And then towel rail, soap, there's nothing in here that can be decluttered. It is very functional as I need it to be. So then we come into the utility room, and this is where we're going to start. I've got these cupboards up here. I do actually have some bits on top there, which is actually one of those things I can't stand, but since you can't really see this space very much, and the storage in here, these aren't very deep, it isn't great. I have put some bits on the top, which I probably shouldn't have. But anyway, so this is where we're going to start, and then I'll see if there's anything in here to declutter. And since it's early days, with it being 1 item today, 2 items tomorrow, and so on, we'll probably be in here for a while because there's probably a few things I can declutter. And I'm probably going to see things today when I pick my 1 item. There's probably things I'll spot that, oh no, I can declutter tomorrow, and the day after that. And then we'll work our way into the kitchen, living room. Upstairs we'll probably do master bedroom, then I call it my little bedroom. It's where my clothes are kept basically, because there's not enough space in our master bedroom for us to have a dresser or anything. Then we've got the bathroom and the office. I could tackle the linen closet again, but if you've seen my video you'll know it was only a short amount of time since I did that. And then if we're still looking for things at the end, if I'm struggling, there is the garage. I'm sure we can find things in there, and there's even some bits and pieces in the garden we can look at. So plenty of places to start. So all I'm going to do is open the first cupboard, dread it, which is this one. Now, oh, there's all sorts in here. So I've got spare cleaning products in here, I've got some pens and stuff, and I keep sort of old containers, particularly if they've got some sort of squirty top, just because I don't want to have to put these plastic items in the bin. Some of them are actually widely recycled, but I keep them anyway just in case I need one for when I make my own cleaning products at home. Then I've got a dispenser and I don't have to go out and buy like the glass bottles and stuff. So there's all sorts of bits in here. I've got some old mugs which I use when I'm painting to hold my paint water in, rather than having specific pots for that. And there's just all sorts of rubbish in here, to be honest. Like these are from when I made my own wax melts. They're lavender scented, quite nice actually. But I haven't got around to using them, which says a lot. But I think I am going to start with an interesting item, which is this. So this is a Halloween themed cookie jar. I'll bring it closer so you can see. Just says Halloween on it. What's it say? Trick or treat Halloween on it. And it's got a little witch on the top on a broom in front of the moon, which is really lovely. This is quite an odd thing to say I'm going to declutter, because I adore this. This came from HomeSense probably 2 or 3 years ago. I think it cost me $14.99, but don't hold me on that because it was a while ago. And whilst I absolutely love this, I bought it so I could make Halloween cookies. I even bought Halloween shaped cookie cutters at the same time. I bought it so I could make Halloween cookies and have them out on the counter at Halloween. And honestly, now I think about it, having a jar just for Halloween week, or sort of October if you like, does seem a bit ridiculous. I do not need to keep this item. So it's interesting that the first one I go for is an item that I do love. I do think it's gorgeous, but it's just not necessary for me to keep it. And if I ever wanted to make cookies to put in a jar, I have got other just plain clear glass jars that can be used for other things, not just Halloween themed things. And you might say, well, you could put this out at other times during Halloween. I just can't see myself doing that, honestly. So item number 1, day 1, this is the first item we are going to declutter. I've decided I'm going to keep all the items, if they will fit by the time we're done, on this dresser in my little bedroom, which I'm pretty sure, after a month of looking at it, I will be absolutely sick of it, but I think it's kind of important to keep all the things together. I'd like to see what it looks like by the end and how it builds up over time. So this is day one, and I hope it doesn't drive me completely crazy by the time we're done. It's day two. Please excuse the absolute state of me, I've just been for a run. And we have got to pick out 2 items for today for the declutter. I didn't mention yesterday that starting in this space is actually a really good place to start, just because this does kind of become a bit of a dumping ground for odd items that don't really have a particular home. So should be a good place to start, but let's find 2 items. Okie dokie, sticking with the Halloween theme, I'm going for this set of 2 glasses. We have plenty of just normal glasses, and these are really delicate. I also bought the Christmas ones at the same time, and when I took them out of the box on one of them, I just pulled literally a tiny bit to get it out of the packaging, and a whole chunk just snapped out. They're really flimsy. They can't go in the dishwasher, which means they take up a bit more effort in terms of just washing them afterwards, and as much as I think it's a nice sort of novelty, I don't really see the point in having separate glasses just for Halloween. So this is our day 2 declutter. So I figured for the rest of the days whilst I'm still in the utility room, there's no point in me taking my camera down there every single day, so I'm going to just grab the items and bring them up here to where my camera is set up, and then when we move into the next room, which will be the kitchen, then I'll take you back with me. But we'll be in the utility room for a couple of days just because we are on the low numbers and we're only getting rid of a few things each day. So for day 3, I have got this shelf item. It's used to stack like tin cans on, tinned food, canned food, whatever you call it, or anything like that small really in a cupboard. So everything stands taller than what's behind it so you can see everything, but none of my cupboards are actually wide enough to put this in terms of in the cupboards where I keep food, so it isn't getting used. I've then got this set of 2 Christmas silicone spatulas. As you can see, they're still in the original packaging. I'm not going to use them because, again, it's one of those seasonal items. It's a bit of a novelty, and I'll just use the same spatulas all year round. And then this is a cardboard cupcake stand, so it's like 3 tiers, you stack it up, and it's meant to be one use, it's meant to be disposable, but because that felt really wasteful, I got sort of 2 or 3 uses out of it, and it is starting to get a bit dingy because I did wipe it clean when I was done, and then because it's cardboard, that doesn't do so well, and I've just figured I don't use it often enough to warrant me having it, and if it does get to the point where I use one of those really frequently, I'd like to get a proper sort of porcelain one and do it correctly, but I don't need one of those right now because I don't use it enough. For day 4, I'm just getting rid of 4 recipe books. I do not feel the need to keep any of these because where I do use them, it's only the odd 1, 2 or 3 pages, or I don't use them at all. So before I do let these go, I will either take photos or scan the pages I want into my computer so I've got them digitally, but then the rest of the book can go. So I've just got the Jamie Oliver 5 ingredient recipes. I've got the Doctor Who cookbook. This was a gift. I was actually gifted 2 of these over the space of 2 years. Growing up, I was a big fan of Doctor Who, and, you know, I will catch it now when it's on TV, but I won't say that I'm particularly that into it anymore. And I've got a burger cookbook, so different burger recipes for all different sorts of ingredients, and then an in-season cookbook, which I have never used. For day 5, I've just got 5 plates that I do not use. They're a bit of a novelty, they're not just your plain basic dinner plates. As you can see, this was in the sale, 90p. Definitely just bought it because it was in the sale for the sake of it. And I have 4 of those, each with different prints on. You can see they're still in the bubble wrap, so one with a skirt, one with shoes, one with like a clipboard, and one with lipstick. And then the one at the bottom is a different one. I'm not going to unwrap it all, but the one at the bottom is just a Christmas themed one that I've never used. I do love this plate. I think it is gorgeous. It's got like potatoes and sprouts and pigs in blankets and stuff on it, but I'm just not going to use it. So that can go. So that's 5 items for day 5. For day 6, I have got 4 mugs. So these 2 are just really old and can go. We don't use them. They were in the utility room because I don't have space for them where I keep my normal mugs. I don't need an overflow set of mugs, so they're going. These 2 still even have the stickers on, they were never used. And again, 2 Christmas plates. I'm really letting go the novelty items because where possible, I don't think it's necessary to keep things that you're only going to bring out for maybe a week or 2 out of the whole year. So these are going, and that is day 6. Here are my items for day 7. So I have got 3 more of these really very breakable seasonal glasses. So these are all Christmas themed ones. Again, I do think they're very nice, but it's not really necessary to have Christmas specific glassware, so they're going to go. I've got 2 of these stands at the back which are for hanging your kitchen utensils on, but I do not keep utensils hanging up on my counters or anything like that. I much prefer to have them put away where you can't see them, so I don't need those. And then in here, I'm counting this as 2, is just 2 little ceramic jars, and they've got sort of the chalkboard labels on for labelling. They are really cute and I thought I would get use out of them, but I really haven't, so I'm also going to let those go. So for day 8, we've had to move out of the utility room because we've almost ran out of items. So I had 5 items left over from in there, and then we're starting on the kitchen. So the 5 items left over in the utility room were, so I have this glass bottle, which honestly I thought I would use because I've been getting into using sort of glass jars and glass bottles, but this one's just sort of been sat around with nothing to do. So that's the first item. Another glass bottle that I was using to keep dry flowers in originally, but again it was just a decorative item sat around on the side that I didn't really need to have there, and it was kind of driving me a bit mad. So that's the second item. This small blue pot, it used to have a plant in, and that plant has outgrown this, and I no longer have any plants this small, and I'm really trying to discourage myself from buying any more because I have loads of plants already. And also, for the most part, all my pots are a fairly neutral colour, so whites, golds, greens, terracottas, and this does not really fit with any of that. I then have 2 teeny tiny garden fairies. I was going to create a little fairy garden in my garden. I first had this idea about a year ago. I've had these for a year and just never got around to it, and that tells me I am not going to do it. So these may as well go on to another home. So that's the first 5 items. So to make up today's 8, I need to find 3 items in the kitchen. So I know where I'm going to start because I know there's 2 items in here. And that is these. Not gonna lie, I absolutely love these. I adore them. I think they are gorgeous, and I have got a little bit of use out of them. They're just soup bowls, but again, I feel like if I'm trying to be minimal, do I really need individual soup bowls like this separate from the rest of my just ordinary white bowls? The answer's probably no. So if I don't drop them, there's 2 things, so now I just need 1 more. That's all pretty good actually. Oh, I know. This is a tin opener that does not work. I have finally got round to getting a new one that does work, so there's no need to keep the old one. My mindset was to keep one as a backup. I mean, I say it doesn't work. It works if you clunk it on to the tin and then open it and clunk it all the way around, making separate piercings. You can't actually turn it. It doesn't work on a can. So I said, well, I can keep this as a emergency backup. I don't think I'm ever going to be in a tin related emergency. If the one I've got fails to use, then I will just survive and eat something else until I can acquire a new one. Like, it literally makes no sense to keep a backup. So those are my 8 items for day 8. Here are my day 9 items. I've got a set of 3 chopping mats. I've never used these. They were a gift when I moved into my house. So there's like one for meat, one for fish, and then one for veggies. But I've never used them. I use the same glass chopping board and then just wash it all the time. So I don't need those as well. I've got a set of 3 plastic spoons, which I used once and then it melted. I don't know if you can see that. And then it melted and I figured that's probably a bit dodgy in your food. So set of 3 of those. And another tin opener that just does not work. An ice cream scoop, which I have never used. I think this cost me like 50p. I bought it because I thought I might need one. Turns out I don't. And then this drinking cup with a straw, I do think is really cute. I have used it a few times, but I have got a metallic bottle as well as a flask for hot drinks. So I don't think I really need a third one on top of that, so this can go as well. So those are my 9 items for day 9. Here are my 10 items for day 10. So to begin with, we have just got 4 tea towels. Those are made of a really thin material, and so you basically can dry 1 plate and you're like, yeah, this is too soggy and I need another one. So they're just really ineffective, and we have plenty of tea towels. We never get to a point where we run out. I have at least enough for 1 per day. So even if I only wash at the end of the week, then usually that's enough. I've also got an apron. This is in fact the only apron I have, and I've had it since year 7 cooking at school, but I don't wear an apron when I cook or bake or anything. It's not something that even crosses my mind, so I figured that could go. Then I've got 2 of these. These were left in our house when we bought it. They're just heat protection mats to put on your worktop, so that if you wanted to put a pan on your worktop, then you don't burn it. But I never do put pans straight onto my worktop. I would never do that anyway. So there were 3. I've kept 1 as a just in case, which I probably shouldn't have, but I've kept 1 anyway, and those 2 can go. Then I've got a set of 2 egg poachers. If I ever poach eggs, which is very rarely, I usually boil, scramble or fry. If ever I poach eggs, I'll just drop them into the boiling water, like crack them and drop them straight in and just let them form. I've never done them in any sort of container, so that's a set of 2. That can go. And then I've just got that really large, it's a Harry Potter hot chocolate mug, which I got in a gift set for Christmas when I was probably 11 or 12. And I would never be able to drink a hot chocolate that big or any sort of drink that big, so I just don't see the point in keeping it anymore. It was lovely and I really used to love Harry Potter. I still do love Harry Potter, just not like I did as a child. And it's time for it to go. For day 11, we move into the living room. I've pretty much got everything out of the kitchen that I think I'd be comfortable letting go of at this point. So now I'm just going to have a quick run around and see what I can find. So the first item I know that can go, and this is going to be very handy for putting everything in, is this sort of fabric basket thing. I've not had this very long. I bought it to put our blankets in, but quite honestly, I want to get to a point where there's enough shelf space or drawer space in one of these that I can actually put our blankets away into either a cupboard or a drawer and not have an additional thing out making more clutter than necessary. So this is the first thing that's going to go. I have got 5 books. Now with books, I am very much a read once and that'll be it sort of person. I don't really reread books very often. So I've got Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. I think I read this when I did A-level English literature. One I also read when I did A-level English literature was Wise Children, and another was Beloved. Given that I finished my A-levels 9 years ago, it's probably, oh, was it really 9 years ago? Yes. Given that I finished my A-levels 9 years ago and I've not picked these up since, I'm probably not going to pick them up again. It's not to say that some of them I didn't enjoy. I know with the texts I read in English literature, there were ones I enjoyed way more than others, but I think that would be true of anyone. It's just that I know I'm not going to read them again, so these can go. Then the other 2 are books I've read more recently. we have got, I read this one first, Thin Air. They're both ghost stories. I went through a bit of a phase liking ghost stories, and you know what, I still do. I just don't have as much time to read anymore. This is Thin Air. This was, I thought, really good. I really enjoyed it, but then I gave it to my mum to read, and she didn't find it as exciting, but I thought it was pretty good, so I would actually recommend that one. And this one I thought was brilliant. This is Heart Shaped Box by Joe Hill. I just think the background of the character is not something that sort of comes up in many stories. I just liked the way it was done, but I'm not going to read it again because I have already read it and I know what happens. And I think with a ghost story, the point is you're kind of like surprised and you don't know what's going to happen. So when you know what happens, it kind of doesn't work anymore. So 5 books, so altogether that's 6 items. I have a candle. I think I have more of these somewhere else. I do love the smell, but I bought them before I moved in, and I honestly did not foresee when I moved in, before I moved in, how anxious it would make me having little balls of fire actually in my house. Like, I just do not feel safe burning candles, and I know that probably sounds really stupid to loads of people, but I just don't burn them. I much rather would have a wax warmer, something like that, particularly if I'm going for a scent. So I just don't burn candles, so this can go. So that's 7. Now, I could finish this challenge quite easily if I just started decluttering DVDs, but I feel like that's going to be a whole video on its own, so I'm not actually going to touch my DVDs. I've got, which side can you see? This cabinet here, and I've got the exact same one on this side, and they are both full, sort of double stacked, so you can't even see everything anymore. So that will need to be a video in its own right to declutter those. Right, here we go. So 2 more of these candles in different scents, so that's 8, 9 items. I'm really finding this thing handy. Oh, another candle. Oh, you see, they do smell lovely. I can't deny that. I just won't burn them. So, is that 10? 5 books, 6, 7, 8. The basket, 9, 10. I need 1 more item that I've not even looked in the other drawer yet. Nothing behind there. Oh, this might be a cheat, but we'll go for it anyway. I've seen other people that do these and have really small items in there. So 1 singular tea light that is just sat in there and hanging around. So that is my 11 for today. Done. Day 12 I feel like is a little bit of a cheat day, but I found this set when I was clearing out my utility room. It was given to me by my mum before I moved in, and I think she might have even got it as a free gift when she ordered from a catalogue way back in the day. But the reason I saved it for day 12 is because it's a 12-piece outdoor dining set. So there's 4 small bowls, 4 dinner plates, and then 4 small plates. So I am counting that as 12, and I saved this item for day 12, and that is it. Day 13 really is a mixture of really random bits and pieces I was keeping in my living room. So first of all are just 2 boxes. This is for the phone mount that's in my car, and this is for my Fitbit. I've always been a bit weird about keeping boxes in case you need to sort of return anything, or just to make it easier to move if you ever move. And with something like my Fitbit, it's over 3 years old. It's not covered by any sort of warranty or anything, so if anything ever happens to it, I'm not going to be able to return it. I would just have to think of another solution for a watch for me to have. So there's no reason for me to keep the box. I will go through and just take out any manuals that I think I might need or anything like that, but otherwise the boxes can go. Likewise for the phone mount in my car, it was really cheap, and if anything goes wrong with it, you know, I've had it ages. I'm not going to return it to the store at this point because it's been so long that I've had it. I also found an empty Quality Street tin, so just Christmas chocolates, that I kept the tin because I thought I'd probably keep some arts or craft supplies in there, but I already have a lot of tins and boxes to keep arts and craft supplies in, so if by now it's August, that tin has been empty since Christmas, I don't think I'm going to use it. So that's 3. Then in here I've just got a heart-shaped candle holder that I don't think I'm going to use anymore, so this can go. I have got another candle. As I said, I'm not really a candle person, so that can go. This one is literally just some wooden things. I would have put them in the cupboard to remind myself to do something with them, and now I can't remember what they're for, so I think they can go. I've got this little Easter snow globe that I won't be using probably. I've got some replacement pieces for earphones. I don't use earphones. I don't know why these even exist. My husband doesn't use earphones, so that's that. I have got this garland that I made myself. I wanted it to have sort of an autumn look with like leaves and acorns and pumpkins, but honestly I think it just turned out really hideous and I don't like it, so that can go. This one I feel like it's a bit of a cheat because it's more like just rubbish than an actual item, but I know people do rubbish in these, so this is just a map I kept from the last time we went to Alton Towers, but I don't need that, so that can go. This is the connector for my Guitar Hero guitar, which I already decluttered, so I don't even have the guitar anymore, and I don't play the PS2 anymore. Really, I should have decluttered that as well, but that's probably for a later day. This plug-in air freshener thing, this was in our house when we moved in. The people sort of left it there just to, I suppose, make it smell nice. It was a very kind gesture for them to do, but it's all run out and I'm not going to be buying the refills for this. And then this strange basket thing, which I think is actually an egg basket, but I bought this last autumn from HomeSense because I thought it looked a bit like a cauldron, and I put sweets in it over Halloween, but I'm not going to do that this year because, again, it's another thing I really don't want to have out, and I am trying to be good, and encouraging myself to eat sweets all through Halloween probably isn't the way to go. So that's day 13. For day 14, we've moved into my bedroom to look for stuff, and it's again a bit of a mixture. So I started with just this old hand cream that is just sitting in my bedside table. I don't need that. Then I've got 2 pairs of pyjamas, which I'm counting as 4 because it's bottoms and top, so there's those. Then I found a few bits and pieces I'd kept from my 18th birthday, but not really significant things. Like, I know I've kept from when I did my going digital. When I did my going digital, I kept like my 18th birthday cards, I think from my mum and dad, my sister and my grandparents. So like I've got other knickknacks from there which I don't think I need to keep, including a streamer, the band that was on my cake, a banner, and a badge. So that's another 4 items. Then I have got this gold, I don't know what you'd call it, basket thing, which used to be in the other bedroom, and these fairy lights. I do love these, but again, it's just not what I'm going for. So that's another 2. I found just an empty box. Again, I probably kept it to store something in and then didn't. And then 2 PlayStation games from the original. So my sister was the one of us that had a PlayStation. I think she got it for Christmas or something, and she's 5 years older than me, so she was kind of like a bit more ahead with gaming and stuff like that, so most of the games I played were hers anyway. But for one of my birthdays I got 2 games. I think these came from Woolworths. For those of you in the UK, like, Woolworths went out of business years ago, and I think it was something like 2 for £14 or something. Like, this is what you could get games for back in the day. Spyro 2 was my all-time favourite game. However, I do not feel the need to keep this one because the PlayStation, well, the PS2, because you could play these on PS2. It's not even plugged in anymore. I don't intend on plugging it in. I'm just trying to make myself part with it. And we also bought the Reignited trilogy on Xbox, so don't need this. And honestly, Rayman, I just never enjoyed. It was a game that looks pretty cool, but it used to drive me mad. I think because I was quite young as well, I could just never complete this. I found it way too difficult. So this can also go. There's no reason for me to keep this. I'm not ever going to play it, even if I did plug my PlayStation back in. So that's that. Day 14. It's day 15. We've moved into my, I want to say dressing room. It's not really a dressing room. It's just where I store all my rubbish. We've moved into here. I had one last item from our bedroom, which was a dictionary. Don't ask me why there's a dictionary in the wardrobe in our bedroom, but I don't use this. If I ever need to look up a word, I do it on my phone anyway. So one item, 14 to go. I feel like we stand a good chance in here because, you know, there's products, beauty things, little bits and pieces everywhere, so hopefully we'll be able to drag this room out a little bit longer. I am getting slightly concerned that I've done nearly every room in my house and we're halfway. Well, we will be halfway after today. I know there is the garage as well, and that is full of just rubbish. I'm sure I could find a way to do that, but since I've started saying there's things I don't want to do, like I didn't want to do my DVDs and other things because I want to make separate videos out of them, and because I'd already done so much decluttering before starting this challenge, I think the game is on, you know? It's gonna be hard, but let's start here. So I have my makeup brushes in two pots, big brushes and little brushes. The big brushes, I can say I do use all of those. So I'm not going to get rid of anything there. What can I get rid of in here? First off, let's take out the ones I want to keep. So I definitely want to keep my Sigma brushes. I'll keep the Urban Decay one. What's that? That's a Sigma. Oh no, it's a Sephora brush. I'm going to get rid of both of my spoolies, which is dangerous because that means I won't have one. But at the minute I've been finding that instead of using these, I'm using a, I don't know what it's called. The NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel anyway, which has one of those brushes in there and of course the products. So I don't feel like I need those, so they can go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus my dictionary 14. I only need one more item for today. Now, in the past I've said I'm not going to declutter makeup and beauty items. That is still mostly the case, but I do want to get rid of this really, oh, it'll barely open, old lip scrub. It is now just one solid block. I don't think it's a good idea to use that. So that will be item 15. It's day 16 and I am rapidly running out of space over here. But for today I have got one of the packets that Glossier send their items in, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of postcards and stickers. I think these are Glossier and Colourpop, and another 2 Glossier stickers. It's really good because recently Glossier has made it so you don't have to get all these extras in their order. They will just send your stuff in a cardboard box with paper packaging. So that's really good. It can all be recycled, so you don't have to have all of this anymore. So when I make my next order, I know I will definitely not have all of this. I've then got 3 empty ring boxes, some really cheap eyebrow wax strips that never worked because guess what? They were really cheap. 2 of these little, I don't know what you call them, they're like hair donuts for making buns, but these are 2 really tiny ones that I will never use. A little Ted Baker pouch that a bracelet came in, but I'm not going to use. A gold bandana, or I suppose it could be a scarf. And then I can't remember what this was called. It's full of my hair though. It was a product and you had to roll it in your hair when it was wet and then wear it overnight and your hair comes out curly. I used it twice ever, and both times my hair just got so knotted and tangled in it, and it was so painful trying to take it out. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. This one is also going. Day 17 is really easy. It's just 17 assorted hair accessories. Here's day 18, just a few more hair accessories like yesterday's. Day 19 is 7 more hair bubbles, 3 bath fizzer thingies, a spatula that goes with like putting face masks on, 2, they're not even proper socks, they're those things that you're supposed to wear in shoes so that you can't see your socks, but they always ping off and drive me mad, and then 6 belts. For day 20, I just did a quick run around my office, and the only thing I could find in there that needed decluttering were just pens, because I've recently decluttered my office anyway. I did the scribble test with all my pens and highlighters and stuff, and if they were really starting to dry out and not really working, or not working at all, then they're on this pile. So that's 20 pens for day 20. So day 20 is a bit of a bizarre one, as you can see. So to start with, I have just got an empty box into which I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 screw things. These are used to put headboards onto beds, but our bed frame is all one, so don't need those. So 4 of those. Dig a little deeper. 2 of these. Are these Allen keys? I'm not sure, but we got like 3 with every bit of IKEA furniture we bought when we moved in, and we bought most of our furniture from IKEA, so I've kept 1, and there's just all different types of these, different shapes and sizes, so 2 can go in this selection. Another 3 pens, 3 little electronic tea light candles, but I don't really use them. 2 more Glossier bits and bobs. Then I have this artificial plant thingy that can go, and then this is 4 strips of what do you call this, like grass skirt trimming that you put around tables for parties. We had a Hawaiian themed party 2 years ago and we've kept it. I thought maybe it would be good to use for crafts, but I haven't, so it can go. Day 21 is just a bunch of little bits and pieces from in our garage. Again, more of the stuff that came with IKEA furniture that we didn't use. These, for example, you're supposed to put on corners, I think, maybe to protect them, but they just looked weird or didn't fit well, so we never bothered. So that's 21 pieces there. It's day 22 and here are 22 random bits and pieces from the garage. For day 23, more boring things out the garage. Sorry, this has taken a bit of a nosedive for the excitement. Hopefully it'll pick up again soon. This is day 24. I'm starting to think all of these little stupid garagey bits I should have just combined into however many days it took up, but never mind. Here's day 24. 24 more little pieces. For day 25, we've got 25 seashells. It's weird what you find in your garage that you forgot you had. For day 26, I've got the last of the seashells, a couple more random bits from the garage, and then I've started on the Christmas decorations. You may notice I've gone for a lot of red here, and that's simply because I do not like red Christmas decorations, and these would have come in sets where you got other colours, probably green and gold, and I've kept the green and gold because I love green and gold at Christmas, but red is just not a colour for me. I don't find it to be a calming, relaxing colour by any stretch, so I'm just going to get rid of all the red Christmas decorations. For day 27, we've got a real mixture, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things of paint. 7 more Christmas decorations, 4 more random bits down here, a pot and 2 sponges in there, and this sponge here. This could be classed as more because it's got weird attachments, but I'll just count it as the 2. And that's it for day 27. And here is day 28, 29 and 30 all at once. I had to do it this way because I found this bag of their like drawer or cupboard handles, and there are 30 in the bag. I have those because they were originally on a set of furniture I had, and I painted that furniture silver and I replaced all the knobs with like glass crystal looking ones, and so there's 30 of those. There's 30 screws to go with them, so that covers day 30 and day 29 with 1 extra. So for day 28 with that 1 extra I only needed 27 more items, so I've got 2 baskets here. I've got 3 of these black things. They're supposed to go on our gym equipment, but when we were putting it together, they're only decorative to sort of hide the joints. We forgot to put them on, and there was no way I was going to, or I'm ever going to, separate that to put these on. And then just a few more random garagey bits that we had left over, and then I was 3 items short, so I just threw in 3 more hair ties. There's nothing wrong with these whatsoever, but I was 3 items short, so they finished it off, and that is it. So that's it. I'm standing with my 465 items behind me. I can say that I have completed the 30-day minimalism challenge, and honestly I am so thrilled. I've really enjoyed doing it. I've really enjoyed going through everything and finding things, and it's just been brilliant. If you feel like you're up to it and you've got enough stuff still to get rid of that you could do this challenge, I would highly recommend it because it has been a whole bunch of fun. And there you have it. It's such a random assortment of stuff, but I've done it. And that's that. So that's all from me for this week's video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. It really helps me out and I do really appreciate it. I'll leave my Instagram information in the end card at the end of the video, and stick around. If you've stayed with me this long, do stick around to the time lapse of this at the end. I took a photo of it every day as it grew, and I'm going to put that at the end of the video so you can see how it progressed day by day all the way to the end. Thank you so much for watching. That is all from me. Take care and I will see you next week. Bye!